Thanks for joining us on the news tonight. President Bola Tinubu has signed into law 4 bills that will comprehensively reform Nigeria's tax system. These newly signed tax laws have been described as pro-poor and is expected to ease the burden on low-income earners, small business owners and everyday Nigerian. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde has more.
The signing of a new tax administration system. This is a watershed moment in the management of Nigeria's economy. The 4 executive bills have now come full circle after journeying from the desk of President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly for legislative input and then back to the desk of the President for his assent. The President continues to insist that these reforms are not about raising more taxes, but ensuring efficiency in tax administration. The acts will now be gazetted as laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are the Nigeria Tax Act, the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, the Nigeria Revenue Service Act, the Joint Revenue Board Act.
Some tax bills.
President Bola Tinubu says these laws will simplify the country's tax regime and deliver Nigeria's first major pro-people tax cuts and also provide relief for low-income earners.
Nowhere in the world that tax reform will ever be any easy. At the end of the day, what you must land with is the hope to develop the people and show the right character towards the destination. We are in transit. We have changed the road. We have changed some of the misgivings. We have opened the door for new economy, business opportunity. We are showing that Nigeria is truly, truly ready and open for business.
With the implementation of these new laws, more than 1/3 of workers in both private and public sectors will now be exempted completely from pay-as-you-earn tax. Taiwo Oyedele and Zach Adedeji are President Bola Tinubu's men saddled with the task of reforming the country's obsolete tax administration system. For them, the signing of the bills is just the beginning of another journey.
We all know, because this is what we've explained during the course of this journey, that we have hold laws that we need to bring to states that actually match the situation that we have in our country today.
Small businesses, over 90% of small and micro nano businesses, we no longer have to worry about paying corporate income tax or charging VAT or even deducting withholding tax or paying PAYE for their employees. What this means is that there will be more money in the hands of the ordinary Nigerian to take care of their daily needs.
These bills generated so much public interest. It whipped up both religious and ethnic sentiments and divided the country along political lines. Eventually, logic prevailed, and the merits of the bills superseded the views and opinions of critics.
You will also recall that in this country, sometimes we have more than about 72 or 3 different kind of taxes, and all those taxes have been harmonized right from local government, state, and the national. And also, we did not just relent there. We looked at the bills as they brought them on how it will affect the oil and gas industry. We also look at how the export processing zones operate, especially where it will add comparative advantage to our local industrialists.
For me, I think that at the end of the day, by next year, when this thing starts to roll in, the subnationals again should be expecting an increase in their monthly revenue, which we know that it should be to the benefits of Nigerians at their various homes and local governments.
The states have seen tremendous increase in resources since the reforms have begun. And a lot more will be seen with this new tax reform bill. Although the tax bracket will be widened, but a lot of people will not be paying tax as we go ahead.
These new laws will now enhance President Bola Tinubu's aspiration to develop Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy by 2030. After about 9 months of uncertainty, some controversy, pushbacks and setbacks, President Bola Tinubu's 4 tax reform bills have been signed into law. What is next now is the strengthening of the legal framework for its implementation, expected to commence on the 1st of January 2026. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Now let's tell you more about these 4 tax reform laws. The Nigeria Tax Act consolidates Nigeria's fragmented tax statutes into a unified legal framework. It also seeks to reduce tax duplication, enhance clarity and ease compliance for taxpayers. The second act, now the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, provides a harmonized legal and operational structure for tax administration at the federal, state and local government levels. It aims to foster efficiency and uniformity in tax collection. The Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Act replaces the existing Federal Inland Revenue Service Act, and this gives way for the establishment of the Nigeria Revenue Service with more responsibilities, including non-tax revenue collection. It also introduces strong mechanisms for accountability as well as transparency. The last of the acts is the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act, which sets up a national governance structure to coordinate tax efforts across all tiers of government. It also introduces a tax appeal tribunal and an office of the tax ombudsman. It aims to enhance taxpayer rights and dispute resolution mechanisms. These reforms are expected to improve job creation, improve public service delivery, as well as build public confidence in the nation's tax system. Let's bring in Abdulkabir Ogunbo, who is Special Advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on Taxation and Revenue, on the news at 10. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. After some months now of back and forth, these bills have now been signed into law. Precisely how is Lagos reacting to this?
Thank you, Nifemi. This is a very good time for us in Nigeria and for Lagos in particular. And we must commend, to start with, the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on this bold step in giving Nigeria a legacy that we'll not forget soon. The reaction to this is a sign of relief to the low-income earners. It's a sign of relief to SMEs, corporate organizations, big firms, and introduces new conversation around ease of doing business. So we are very positive about this. Thank you.
From a state perspective, though, how do these new laws impact Lagos, especially in terms of coordination with the new Nigeria Revenue Service and the Joint Revenue Board?
Precisely, when this conversation, the old conversation started, as a proactive government and governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, established a subcommittee that immediately commenced working with Taiwo Oyedele-led committee. And as a result of that, we've been able to put up proactively initiatives that would complement what this will be at the end of the day. And one of this initiative is the major game changer, which is data for tax. So in Lagos today, precisely 31st of October last year, that's 2024, there's a statewide circular which enforces a unique payer identification. And this allows for all the payments in Lagos, for all the transactions around all our revenue generating agencies, including Lagos Internal Revenue Service. We're now adopting, a unique identification riding on the national identification infrastructure. And this allows us to also move to, communicate with all databases in the country. So Lagos is very ready. We have also introduced what we call Lagos Revenue Portal. And this, in essence, is to harmonize all our bills and payment system. So centralizing them to ensure that from the local government to state government transactions, they are all coordinated to make a life easier for our people.
You know, Lagos is often seen as a winner in this reform. Some critics argue this deepens inequality between states. I wonder what your response is to concerns that these reforms may further tilt fiscal power toward already wealthy states.
I can say for a fact that is a complete misconception because a lot of our people, of course, with this diverse, with this opinion, which I would not like to dwell much on, forget the responsibility before Lagos State. They forget the pressure on the infrastructure, pressure on our schools, pressure on our health care, and more. But to come back to what this tax is talking about, in the face of it, without a proactive system put in place, it's going to, really affect us, more than other states of the federation. But because we are always very active and intentional about what we want to do, we're sure that this will become a positive. But in the early stage, we're going to be challenged by the fact that the total amount that's been earned in the value-added tax have been removed, the consumption tax, which have been a bit of window to move, have been removed, with this bill. So we're going to do a lot of work, but we at the end of the day, because of the direction of the governor, I'm sure that we're going to get back to stage.
Special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Tax and Revenue, Abdulkadir Ogungbo, thank you for talking to us.